April 18, 1945. A ruined market square on Augsburg's southern edge. Cold bites knuckles. Ash dampens the cobbles. Engines tick as they cool. Anna Keller, 32, weighs 90 pounds. Her wool coat sags. Cuffs frayed, shoes tied with twine. 4 days without real food. Her son Karl, 6, sleeps against her hip, breath shallow, too tired to cry. She believes Americans are careless, dangerous, quick to punish. She believes approaching means arrest, maybe worse. Then bread cuts the air. Not bakery soft, but army loaves, dense, sour, wrapped in brown paper. A canvas ration bag hangs from a Jeep bumper. The smell opens her stomach like a wound. She turns her face away. Looking feels like hope, and hope feels unsafe here. A soldier notices. Private James Walker, 23, Ohio. He lifts one loaf, sets it on the Jeep hood, steps back. No order, no smile, distance only. Anna freezes, watching steam fade from the engine, listening to metal ping and the square breathe. Is it bait or mercy? The loaf rests between cold steel and colder fear, waiting there. April 18, 1945. Same square, same grey sky, pressing sound flat. Anna moves as if crossing ice. Her hands shake, her knees argue. Each step expects shouting, laughter, the loaf snatched away. Karl stirs, murmurs mama. Eyes closed. Her fingers reach. They stop inches from the crust. The bread looks heavier than bread should. Top cracked. Paper creased. Smell thickens. Yeast. Wet canvas. A faint metallic note from fuel. Silence stretches until it hums. Private James Walker watches. Face blank. Rifle slung. Boots damp. He believes Germans hate him. He believes kindness will be misread. He does nothing. Anna waits for permission that never comes. Wind scrapes ash along stone. A drop of water slides from the hood. Finally, she lifts the loaf. No one moves. The bread is warm from sun, not oven. Warmth leaks into her palms and breaks something behind her ribs. Tears come soundless. She presses her lips together, ashamed of relief. Karl wakes fully, blinking. Anna folds the paper, tucks the loaf against her coat, and the square exhales, holding what happens next. For a moment, fear loosens, and time slows, watching them both breathe together. April 18th, 1945, late morning. Clouds thin, weak sun touches the square. Anna sits on a broken stone step, loaf on her lap like something fragile. She does not eat immediately. Hunger has taught caution. She tears bread carefully, crust cracking softly, sound enormous in quiet. Karl wakes fully, eyes fixed, wide, unbelieving. Anna breaks a piece for him first. He chews slowly, afraid it might vanish. Crumbs cling to his lips. Only after he swallows does she eat. Private Walker turns away, pretending to check the Jeep, wiping rain grit from a headlamp. He smells bread mixed with damp stone and dust. He tells himself he has done enough. Still, he leaves the rest on the hood and sets a second loaf beside it. Anna looks up, startled by new weight. She meets his eyes for the first time. No smile, no nod, just an understanding. Not payment, not apology, not victory. Simply food placed between exhausted people who no longer know how to be enemies. This was only the beginning. The square holds its breath, letting crumbs fall like promises onto stone below. April 18th, 1945, afternoon. Light rain begins. The square smells of wet stone and yeast. Anna wraps remaining bread in her scarf. It is no longer only food. It is something to protect. Survival might stretch beyond today. Civilians watch from doorways, hands tucked, collars up. No one rushes forward. Soldiers do not distribute more. The moment stays small, contained. Private Walker notices Anna tear a strip and offer it to an older woman, Frau Becker, grey hair pinned with wire. The bread changes hands, thinner each time, heavier with meaning. Walker feels a shift. He imagined fear as a wall. Instead, it is porous. He thinks of his mother slicing sandwiches at home, bread meaning the day would continue. When the unit prepares to move, Walker leaves one final loaf on the stone step. Anna does not chase him or wave. She presses bread to her chest, through wet wool, feeling its shape soften. Rain darkens the crust. The bread will not last long, but its presence does. Safety arrives quietly, without uniforms changing or words spoken, and leaves something growing behind. Afterward, unnoticed, May 1945 arrives with warmer air and unfamiliar silence in Augsburg. Birds return to broken roofs. Shutters creak. Anna survives. She trades crumbs for potatoes, then stories for work, scrubbing floors at Herr Müller's shop. The scarf becomes a bundle. The bread becomes memory. She dries a small heel, hard as wood, keeps it wrapped tight. Weeks pass in a montage. Cues shorten. A stove lights. Karl gains color. Shoes get patched. Nights stretch quieter. By 1952, a rebuilt kitchen smells of soap and grain. Anna is 39, stronger, lines at her eyes. Karl, 13, tall and restless, steals bread crusts. The dried heel sits in a tin with buttons and letters, faintly dusty. Across the ocean, James Walker returns to Ohio. He marries Ruth, works a mill, clocks in before dawn. Bread is ordinary again. He does not tell the story. It sounds too small. Yet he remembers the woman freezing, her trembling hands. Neither knows the other carries the same object differently, one as mercy received, the other as mercy given. Time stretching forward, patient, waiting for years to come. October 1989, Augsburg, inside a former barracks hosting a reconciliation exhibit. Air smells of old wood and paper. Anna Keller, 76, walks with a cane. Karl, 50, steadies her elbow. In her purse, wrapped in tissue, rests the hardened bread, smaller, edges worn smooth. James Walker arrives with a tour group, 67, hearing dulled, posture bent. He reads captions until a photograph of a ruined square tightens his chest. A case mentions food relief, bread. Anna recognizes him before he recognizes her. Not the face, but the stillness. She approaches, heart steady, opens her purse, places the bread in his palm. It weighs almost nothing. The real shock came later. James understands. He sits heavily on a bench. No translator needed. They do not touch again. They do not apologize. The bread passes back to Anna. It has traveled decades to return, completing a circle neither planned, both needed, in a room quiet enough to hold it. Around them, visitors whisper, coats rustle. A clerk named Lena adjusts placards, and footsteps fade, leaving the bread between years, hands, and histories, unchanged, waiting under soft lights and patient glass that remember everything. November 1989, outside the Augsburg exhibit. A thin frost coats the street, breath clouds the air. Anna and James part without promises. They exchange addresses they will never use. The bread stays with Anna, wrapped again, returned to her purse. Karl watches quietly, hands in his coat pockets, memorizing the way adults say goodbye when history has finished speaking. 2 years later, Anna dies peacefully. Karl places the bread in a drawer with photographs, telling his children why it matters. Across the ocean, James lives another decade in Ohio. He buys bread from the same bakery each week, pausing to inhale before leaving. Neither becomes famous. No record changes. The bread does not end hunger. It does not explain war or erase fear. It does one smaller thing. It proves a single decision made without witnesses can outlive the moment that required it. In the end, people remember not uniforms or language or sides. They remember the pause before an outstretched hand and what was placed there. Some histories are written in dates and borders. Others are written in bread. If quiet stories like this matter to you, stay. There are more waiting to be carried.